Hello, in the next lesson. This time we'll discuss proxies in both render engines, in Corona and in V-Ray. So as before, on the right hand side I have the Corona scene opened, and on the left hand side you can see the V-Ray scene. Okay, so in Corona, to convert a model to a proxy, we need to right click and choose Open Corona Proxy Explorer, and this window will be opened. In V-Ray, right click and look for V-Ray Mesh Export option. Here we can choose the folder where the proxy should be saved. In Corona, we also have it at the top of the window. We can choose Collapse and export to single proxy file. This option takes all selected objects and merges them into one mesh file. In V-Ray, to do this, we also need to choose the first option. It's only called differently, but the meaning is the same. Or we can export each object as a separate file with a proxy, with the second option checked. The same in Corona. For exporting an animated object, we'll use this section. Basically, we need to check the animated option and set the frames. In V-Ray, it's here, and we'll need to do the same. Check the export animation option and set frames. In V-Ray, we have an automatically create proxies option that creates proxy objects for the exported meshes. And we should have it on. In Corona, the option is automatically checked, and it's this one, replace source object. Let's check the automatically create proxies option. Additionally, we can name a proxy here. By default, it has the prefix CRP underscore. In V-Ray, we can name the file here. To make a proxy lighter for the viewport, we can check the Export Point Cloud option in V-Ray. While in Corona, we can choose between different viewport visualization methods. Most commonly, we use point clouds as it gives a good representation of the shape and it's pretty light for the viewport. As I said before, to achieve a lower level of details in V-Ray, we need to check this option. We can also change the lowest level point size, and the smaller the value, the more detailed previews you'll get. Here you have other options, but I don't really change any of this. I use default settings. Click OK to convert. And click Export Selected Objects in Corona to do the same. In general, depending on how detailed an object we convert, it can take a while to finish. In the meantime, I show you what preview options we have in V-Ray. We can choose points, show the whole mesh, we can choose previews from files, faces, or meshes, and a bounding box. Most of the time, I use the preview from file faces option. Now let's go back to Corona. So we have point clouds, which I use the most often. We have a wire bounding box, solid bounding box, which is exactly the same as bounding box in V-Ray, and full mesh, which is the same as show whole mesh option in V-Ray. Now I show you how you can convert back a proxy to mesh. We can use the duplicate to mesh option, so it will create a mesh from this proxy if for some reason we need to do this. Here we go. Done. In V-Ray, we'll use the Import as Mesh option, and it works the same. You can see just the naming is a bit different. I show you one more thing. Let's copy the proxy as an instance, and we can increase the number of copies. And let's do the same in Corona. Now we go to the Geometry panel and choose Corona. Choose cProxy. Create a proxy object and click Load from File. This is a proxy file we've created before. We can choose it, and here we go. We can do the same in V-Ray. This time, choose V-Ray and V-Ray proxy. Click in the viewport and choose the correct file. I used the one we've created before. And here it is. We can change the display the same as we did before. And the same in Corona. Okay, that's it for this lesson. See you in the next one.